So I guess now that you are moving ahead on your career as an entrepreneur, and we are going to have you in the conference in a few weeks, maybe the focus of your talk is going to change a bit, right? Now you're not representing Digg, but you have all the experience from that role. So what's going to be the focus now of your talk? I mean, it's going to be even more interesting, I think. And I want to tell all the people listening here that it's I rather hear from your experience as an entrepreneur now more than what your role at Digg was. But tell me what your thoughts are about.
Yeah, I think one of the things that people like to fixate on, especially when people work at a well-known company with a great brand, is that people like to focus on the position itself and the brand and what you do at that company. And for me, I like to talk about what I did at Digg, but I like to rather talk about the things that I learned there. And so over the past 6 or 7 months that I've been in the Valley and being Canadian, so I'm not a Valley native. I'm not from the US. I'm from Canada. I'm from another country. It came in, and even though Canada seems so close to the Valley, let me assure you, it's very far. And I mean very far as in things like just from visas, for being able to work here in general, just legally, starting your own company. There's a lot of different things that just make it seem like it's so far away. So, but at the same time, we blend in as Canadians. But yeah, so my talk is going to change just a little bit. I mean, my hallmark as an entrepreneur is obviously my age. A lot of people like to focus on that. I kind of not want to draw to it, but what I like to do is leverage it as something to show people what's possible, right? Because a lot of people do use age as a crutch and as a barrier that they set up for themselves. Oh, I'm not experienced enough. I'm not old enough. I don't think I can do this. I should, spend some time working to be able to learn more about what I could possibly do. But I believe at the end of the day, being young is actually one of the best traits you can have right now in the industry. So what I'm going to be talking about is basically how to be young and how to rock it. How to properly leverage your youth and your unique traits as a young person in order to succeed as an entrepreneur or as someone who's working in the industry. And what I mean by that is, when you're young, you have traits that are irreplaceable. Things like curiosity, things like energy, things like not having commitments like a wife or kids, a mortgage. These things are huge because they are what add to a profile of an entrepreneur who is truly focused on and fixated on one thing that they can do to really change the world. And that's why most younger entrepreneurs have that capacity. That's how they can even pull it off in the first place. And so if we can't leverage this now, we won't be able to leverage it when we're older. Not to say that there's not going to be energy when you're older, but also to say that right now, if you can do it, you should. Right? So I have a lot of great ideas that want to spend a lot of time in the industry to learn as much as they can and to take that experience in before they feel brave enough to start something. When at the end of the day, some of the people in the industry that have the most successes are the ones that actually decided to do it without having experience in the first place. So it's sort of that cycle, that logic that people don't really see initially. But I want to reveal that to most people, that when you start something without actually knowing everything that you're doing and not having the 100% knowledge in, that's where learning comes.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty useful because, like you say, you're Canadian. You're not originally from Silicon Valley, so maybe you notice some differences, some things that we as Latin Americans can also relate as foreigners. So there's a lot of people in the conference that they wanna start a company in the U.S. They wanna start a product. So a lot of your tips and your learning experience is gonna be pretty useful. So
Yeah, it's a lot of it is realizing in this area or even anywhere in the world, to be honest with you, anywhere in the world there is opportunity. People can take the initiative. One of the biggest messages that I have that I not to give away too much of what I'm going to be talking about, but one of the things that I like to underline most of my messages are, you are the greatest force in your life, right? You are the person that can make things happen. Relying on other people to help make things happen for you is, not something that you as an entrepreneur should be fixated on when you're first starting something. When you are the one who has the biggest hand in your success as an entrepreneur, aka when you're creating something out of nothing, because that's ultimately what I think entrepreneurship is creating value out of nothing. And that magic is, I think, what people should be leveraging. And that's something that people should be focused on. You know, the fact that you're doing something that's truly adding value. And it's not a lie. It literally is. You know, countless entrepreneurs out there who have literally had gone from an idea that's a literal figment of their imagination to something real that is finally adding true value to society from nothing. That is something that's magical.
Yes, I agree. So, well, I know you're pretty busy right now starting your company, so I don't want to take more of your time. Thank you very much for being here with us. And if you have any other comments you want to, something you want to say to the people that are going to look at this video, go ahead right now.
Yeah, I think I now have a much more positive view on countries that may have to face it. I mean, the countries that have preconceptions around the world and how they're like and how people are like there and how the entrepreneurs are like, and a lot of it sort of reflects on the people who are truly innovators there. So you'll have the entrepreneurs from Europe, you'll have the entrepreneurs from South America, and you have the entrepreneurs from the US, and you have the entrepreneurs from Asia. There's always things attached to them. But what I have to say, that there's one thing that keeps us all binded through a common vein. The thing that keeps us all in the same line is all we want to do is truly innovate. I think as we remember as entrepreneurs that innovation is something that's part of our blood, I think we can all learn a lot and walk away with a lot of great ideas. And I want to be able to see some of that happen down in Honduras in a couple weeks. And I look forward to having that discussion with you guys.
Great. Thank you. And we're going to have a pretty good time in Honduras. We're going to take you out and see some pretty amazing places. So we're waiting to have you here.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Take care, Alejandro.
Take care. I see it.
So it's called Kick Labs. It's actually an incubator. And it's amazing. Look at this, 23,000 feet, square feet. Sorry. This is an active slide. It actually is a real slide.
So you can go down all the way?
Yes, people actually use it. And I use it to think because I only think when I'm in motion. So a lot of events are held here, so like conferences and panels, you name it.
Yeah.
And